So many things we're going to work with today. One, we're going to be working with the tongue, and we're also going to be working with the cranial motion, but through the whole body. And also, I'm going to spend time bringing in the spiritual energies. When I talk, when I run these webinars, and definitely when I'm running the guided meditations in it, like an energy comes through. And I feel that very strongly, and I feel it coming in about an hour before we start. And I think that's the reason a lot of people turn up, because holographic breathing isn't easy cookies, or there's quite a lot to it. It's a subtle breath work, body work, spiritual breathing system. But I think a lot of people turn up for the energy, and it's not, I don't see it that I bring an energy to the group and everybody kind of receives that. I see it in a different way. I see it that an energy comes through to me, and people start recognizing that in themselves, and they feel it or see it in another person, and then people start being able to realize that in themselves. They start being able to channel for themselves and bring in their own energies. And when it's that way round, it's much more healthy, because if you become dependent on someone else for the energy, what you're going to do when that somebody else isn't there, and it automatically disempowers you, because that other person is bigger, better, more refined, better channel, whatever you want to call it. Just having to go to somebody. There is a respect between teacher and pupil, but we're equals. And so I will spend time bringing that in at the beginning of the meditation. I'll spend time talking about that, so for people to bring in their own spiritual energies, or the connection to their higher self, or the connection, different people like to connect to different things. So whatever that spiritual connection is, and also the earth grounds that energy and holds that energy. You have to bring in both. So we'll be spending a bit of time for people to source themselves from the higher energies in the earth. So that's one thing that we're going to be doing. Another thing is we're going to be working with the tongue, and this seems to be going on all around at the minute. It's just in the air. Some of the negative traits of the tongue are dishonesty, lying. I can't even think of the words, but it's that, what is the word? Yeah, anyway, it's that iffy world where you don't know what the other person is, or you are perpetrating that yourself for your own end. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a lot about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and that seems to be a lot around who's telling the truth. So on the negative side, there's lying. On the more positive side, there's being honest and saying what is true to you and speaking your truth. You know, quite often we hide our power. Quite often we hide our strength because we're not willing to speak it. So there's speaking our truth, being honest with our truth, allowing ourselves to be powerful enough to say what we think and what we heal. So the tongue is like a communication with everything around. In holographic breathing, it's also connecting to the roof of the mouth, and there's a subtle motion of the tongue as the diaphragm drops. The heart is connected to the diaphragm, it's not connected to the rib cage. So as the diaphragm drops, the heart drops, the esophagus drops, the trachea drops, this whole central area of those organs in the chest drops with the diaphragm. These join on to the hyoid bone here, they connect to the jaw, they connect to the tongue. So if you allow that, you naturally get this motion in holographic breathing where the jaw gently opening on the in-breath, gently closing on the out-breath. And that's more refined in holographic breathing because we have the lips closed at the same time and the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And for the new people, I will first of all be teaching holographic breathing so that you can do this. So there's this kind of downward motion, but because the lips are together, because the tongue's on the roof of the mouth, it will only move down a bit. But what you get is this subtle motion in the roof of the mouth as the diaphragm drops under the ribs, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. The roof of the mouth, the tongue makes kind of a suction to the roof of the mouth, and you get this breathing in, breathing out, breathing in with the roof of the mouth. And this in effect opens the cranial rhythm through all of the bones of the face, through all of the bones of the cranium, through the spine and through the whole body. So we're going to be working with that cranial motion. That is the same motion that is palpated or felt in holographic breathing. Sorry, felt in holographic breathing, but felt in cranial sacral therapy. And there is a difference in cranial sacral, or at least when I learned cranial sacral therapy, it's more coming in as a spiritual thing and then a manifestation on different levels from that. Whereas in holographic breathing, it kind of goes the other way. There's this very physical thing of the breath actually starting that motion through the body, and then there's all the different levels of it that connect into the spirit and connect to the earth. And I can explain it, all the nuances, how it works through all of the bones, how it works through all of the bodies. I can actually show that, and I spent a good year just teaching that. But we're just going to do that. We're just going to get a feel of that in a very general way, how you can feel all of the bones of the face, all of the bones of the cranium, literally opening and closing with the breath. This is profound. This is deeply healing. The tongue also connects to the brain. The jaw connects to the bones through the whole body. The tongue connects to the organs, the viscera, and the brain. So there's not just this motion, there's this energy of the tongue, and the brain starts to breathe, starts to move. It's as if every cell in the brain starts breathing, moving the brain internally. And as this all sets off, there is a spiritual element. As your brain is breathing, as the energies start traveling through the brain, you can't be identified with the mind or the ego or intellect or whatever you want to call it. And you start much more becoming a viewer. You are no longer the same person as you were before. You are no longer that thing, that machine, that entity, whatever. You're more a viewer of it. As soon as the brain starts to breathe, you have to drop down to view that motion, to watch the energy going through the brain. And this starts to transform the brain. This starts to heal the brain. While we're identified with it and we are the matrices and we are that identification or what we normally call ourselves, it's fixed. When we are that identification or identity, the brain, the channels in the brain, everything in the brain becomes those patterns, the neurons, the electrical charges, the intelligence that moves through the brain. That gets fixed as part of your identity or to one level or another. But as it starts breathing, as the energies start traveling through it, it can no longer, and you can no longer be that identity and identification. Because for it to breathe in a natural way, that releases all of the patterns. That moves you aside from all of the patterns. So there is a deep and profound side to holographic breathing if you wish to address it. So we will be working with that. We will be feeling the cranial motion through the body. We'll be feeling the connection from the tongue to the organs and the brain and the energies and movement going through the brain. We will be working with the channels if you so wish. You know, I'm not going to do it for you. I'm going to do a meditation where everybody can bring in their energies. And everybody has the facility for that. Nobody is left out in that arena. You may have to spend a little bit of time becoming used to it or sensitive enough to feel it. But if you ask and you are willing to be a receiver, those energies will come. They will arrive because there's not just the higher self, but there's all sorts of beneficial energies, spiritual energies, teachings, teachers of all levels there. And they kind of want to work. They want to help with what is going on down here. It's just to what level are you willing to let that happen? Because again, while that is happening, you can no longer be the identification you were. You can no longer be the identity. You can no longer be the small self. You are no longer an independent unit. You are not just receiving these energies from the higher self, you are part of the higher self. Your whole system is bigger. You're this unit, but suddenly you're these whole levels that go far beyond we can imagine or experience, and they will come at a speed you can absorb them, but you are no longer this unit if you allow those energies. So people, oh, I can't do that. Question is, are you willing to do that? It's in that willingness is letting go of your identity, all the things you want for yourself or don't want for yourself, all the structures, all the strategies, all the palaver. Are you willing to step aside from that, and maybe your life won't quite be how you planned it to be? You willing to let go enough to let that happen? So tonight's webinar definitely has a spiritual side to it. And I noticed, I had, talked with the energies about that and said, I quite like, it seems time to bring that in more strongly, or I'm ready to do that. I channel always when I'm running these, but I don't always say, okay, we're going to run meditations for everyone to do that. Which is what we're doing tonight. And the energies just came in really strong a couple of hours before. They were potent, to say the least. I can feel them coming in very strongly now. So how much of all of this we're going to work with tonight, I don't know. How much of that I'm going to be able to cover, I don't know, because it always goes off in a different tangent to how I'm expecting. Or not always, quite often anyway. And I don't know if there's anything else to say, really. I think I am just going to start teaching holographic breathing, showing you how to do a holographic breathing. We'll go through that, and I'll put a meditation at the beginning of that, so if you wish, you can bring in spiritual energies, the earth, spiritual energies, beneficial energies, a higher self, whatever it is you wish to bring in. And holographic breathing is that. It's not just we're breathing. It's kind of every level that I know about anyway. We work at a physical level, we work at an energy level, we work with the kundalini, we work with the earth, we work with the sexual potency and the transformation of the sexual energies. We work with the transformation of the brain, the intellect, and we work with the spiritual connection to the divine beings and energies. And for some reason, that is what we're doing today, it seems, the connection to the divine beings. And these free webinars, I don't teach them any differently to the advanced webinars. The material is different. It's kind of a more basic material. But always, in all of the webinars, I just teach what is opening for me at the time. So just because this is for new people in a way, it's also for advanced people. And just because many people are new, it doesn't mean it's not going to be potent. If you allow it, this can change your life. Holographic breathing can change your life. Allowing yourself to bring in your guides, the spiritual energies, your connection to the higher self, your connection to the earth, will almost certainly change your life. because you will have to let go of your life to let it in. All right, so I wasn't expecting to say that, but there you go. We've done that bit. Holographic breathing. The lips are relaxed and closed all of the time. The tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. And within that, with the lips closed all of the time and the tongue on the roof of the mouth, there's a gentle motion of the jaw. The jaw is opening on the in-breath and the jaw is closing on the out-breath. And it's a small motion, about half a finger width, 2 or 3 millimeters. And I'm going to take you through a list of exercises or breathing exercises to bring in that motion, because it's not so easy for me just to say do this, because it doesn't work. So we'll be doing a guided meditation to bring that in. But definitely at this point, for the new people, have your tongue on the roof of the mouth, and it's the upper surface of the tongue, having the tip of the tongue close to or touching the front teeth, and having as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as possible in a relaxed way. It has to be relaxed, or as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable, not as feels possible, as feels comfortable. And the lips are relaxed and closed. Now, we'll do the movement in a bit when we go into the guided meditation, but I'll demonstrate it a bit first, just so you can see that you may not see anything because the movement of the jaw is subtle, but you will probably notice that the lips are not opening and closing, because that sometimes is difficult. Sometimes people think I've got to open and close the lips for the jaw to open and close. So I'll just demonstrate for a few breaths. You may not have seen much there, but holographic breathing is profound. It takes you into a deep place of meditation. The reason that went on a bit longer than I wanted to is because it just felt so nice. It felt so good. I just didn't want to actually come back. So there's a very nice meditative place in holographic breathing. So I want everybody just to have your lips closed and just start moving your jaw up and down, just a small motion. It's a bit like chewing, just to get the experience that you can move the jaw and keep the lips closed. So just spend a little bit of time just moving the jaw up and down, small motion. Notice you can keep the lips closed. Okay, you can let that come to an end. Holographic breathing, my voice, the channels tend to knock people out. They tend to go to sleep. Now that's okay. It's okay to be knocked out. It's okay good to go to sleep. But if you go to sleep before you've actually learned how to do it, that's a problem. Because you won't actually ever learn how to do it. So if you're new to this, just for this first exercise, it's important to be sitting upright so that you stay awake through the learning of it. If this is the first time for you for learning holographic breathing, you need to be sitting upright so you get all the different information and get it working. At a certain point, it just joins in with the breath. It's not a technique, it just becomes an integrated part of the breath. There's no special speed, just relaxed breathing. You don't have to do big deep breaths or shallow breaths, just what feels relaxed. It's not connective breathing. You have a space between the breaths as with your normal breathing. So it's just natural, normal breathing, except we allow the jaw to move with the breath. So we're going to start. We're going to start on that journey of holographic breathing. I'm going to spend a bit of time at the beginning bringing in the earth, the higher self, the beneficial energies. All right, closing your eyes. And just breathing gently in your own way. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth. And feel it. Feel the earth. You may be in a flat and high up off the earth, but you can bring the earth up to you. Wherever you are, we're on the planet, you can connect to the earth. She's like your mother. We are made of the earth. Everything we have is made of the earth. We are loaning this body from the earth. So sending a smile, sending a thank you, sending a hello to the earth. And let the earth say hello back. Receive from the earth. Allow yourself to connect with the earth. And allow the earth energies to start intermingling with your energies. They do mirror each other, but allowing that earth energy, allow that communication. Relax the neck, relax the head, allowing that energy to go through your head, through your body. Just gently breathing. And the legs, letting that go through your legs. Something with the legs tonight. Let your legs relax. Let your legs connect with the earth. Let your legs communicate with the earth. The earth's a goddess. The earth is a divine being. Allow her energies to rise up into you and around you and through you and through the neck and through your brain, through your aura, through the top of your head, and rising up towards the higher self. Allow the earth to move through you and transit through you, so it starts rising up into the higher realms. And breathe. and sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies. The beneficial energies, any beneficial higher energies, beings, channels, divine goddesses and gods, divine beings, on whichever level you wish. The higher self is a reflection of you, moving up into those divine realms, saying hello to the higher self and the beneficial energies, and allow them to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive from God or the Creator or the divine realms. Allow yourself to become the bigger you, letting go of your brain, letting go of your neck and throat. Important to relax the throat and neck to allow those energies to come through. And again, it's in the legs. Allow your legs and your thighs to relax. Breathing gently, saying hello to those energies and letting those energies say hello back. Asking, if you wish, asking those energies to say hello back. And asking the earth, the higher self and the beneficial energies to be with you through this whole webinar as your guides, as your healing energies. Again, a lot of the ability to channel, to allow your lower energies to rise up into the higher self and the higher self to drop down through you, relates to the throat. Relax your throat. Let your throat go. A lot of control happens in the throat, letting your throat go. And gently breathing. Okay. If you're still capable, we are now going to learn the holographic breathing. So the lips are relaxed and closed, the tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. The upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, the tip of the tongue close to or touching the front teeth. And just gently start moving the jaw up and down and keeping your lips closed and keeping your tongue on the roof of the mouth. So it's a small, slow motion. Just noticing you can do that. You can gently move the jaw up and down and keep the lips closed and keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Slowing the motion of the jaw down, and then as the jaw is gently opening, allow the breath to come in through your nose. As the jaw gently closes, allowing the breath come out through your nose. So we're starting off with the emphasis in the jaw. The jaw is relaxing open. The breath comes in through the nose. The jaw relaxes closed. The breath leaves through the nose. Notice the mouth becomes like a little bellows, with the tongue sealed to the roof of the mouth, with the lips closed. There's the jaw, and it's a small relaxed motion of the jaw as the jaw relaxes open. It's like a bellows. It draws the breath in through the nose, and then as the jaw closes, it expels the breath out through the nose, relaxing the back of your neck, relaxing the back of your head, relaxing your whole body. So it feels quite physical when we're working with the jaw, but it's a good place to start. The jaw is opening, the breath comes in through the nose, the jaw is closing, the breath leaves through the nose. Now the next bit is important. Staying awake for this next bit. We're going to change the emphasis from the jaw to the nose and the breath. So moving the awareness to the nose as the breath comes in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. So it's the other way round. The breath comes in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the breath comes out, the jaw relaxes closed. Notice it all changes, becomes much softer. You start getting streams of energy moving through your body. You may feel it activating your brain, activating your face and skull, activating your whole body. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue stays relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. As the teeth come together in the out-breath, they just float together. There's no pressure, or they just stay slightly separate. Relaxing the back of your neck, relaxing the back of the head. There's quite a lot going on in people's necks. Make sure the neck is relaxed. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. Notice how natural this feels. Now we're moving away from the face and the jaw to the chest. As we breathe in, the chest is open and the jaw follows. As we breathe out, the chest closes and the jaw follows along. The muscles that are working the chest are working the jaw. As the chest opens, the jaw opens with it. As the chest closes, the jaw closes with it. Breathing in, the chest opens, the jaw follows. Breathing out, chest closes, the jaw closes. Letting your arms and shoulders relax. They're part of the breath. They're opening on the in-breath, closing on the out-breath. and dropping down to your abdomen. As the abdomen expands, or as the abdomen is opening, the jaw opens. As the abdomen closes, the jaw closes. Notice how you can get a really nice, deep breath with no effort, no forcing, with a ease. The abdomen's opening on the in-breath and the jaw opens with it. The abdomen closing on the out-breath, the jaw closing with it. And again, this is starting to work the Kundalini a bit and allowing your neck to relax, allowing that energy to travel through the spine in your neck. Breathing in, the abdomen opens. Breathing out, the abdomen closes. Breathing in, the whole torso opens and the jaw opens with it. Breathing out, the whole torso closes and the jaw closes with it. Notice how, in a very subtle way, all of the bones in your face, in your cranium, in your neck, have started to breathe. This is something new. The skull, the brain, the neck have started to breathe. And as you let go of the neck and of the throat, the energies can release from the lower body into the upper body, into the neck, face and head. Neck, face and head become part of the breath, and they divulge the higher elements of the breath. They connect to the divine energies, the divine reality of God and beyond, of the Creator. Letting your neck go, letting your throat go, letting your arms and legs go. You have to let the energy travel through the spine and head. At the same time, you have to let go of the arms and legs. Travels up the spine, through the brain, into the higher self, but at the same time travels down through the arms and legs, connects to the earth. You have to be earthed to channel. You have to be earthed to connect with the divine realms. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing, letting the crown chakra open, letting the flowered lotus on the top of your head open, and your essence to rise into the beyond, into the unknown. It may feel a bit scary, but just allow. Allow yourself to connect to the beyond, to that is out of your control, out of your realm. And let those energies, the energies releasing from your pelvis, from the sexual potency through your body, through your neck, through your throat, through your face, through your brain. You can let that heal your brain. Then it transits through the top of your head and starts rising into the higher realms. This becomes food for the gods. This energy becomes food for the gods. And as this happens, it's not just your energy is rising up to the divine realms. Your karma starts to unfold. That you have kept private to yourself, the patterns, the hurt, all the things that have happened to you. Start releasing and also rising into the beyond, into the higher self, and allowing the holographic breathing. It's the holographic breathing that is the connection, that is allowing these energies to transcend. Let your neck relax. Let yourself connect to the earth through your sit bones, through your heels, through your hands, through your feet. And also allow your energies to release through your brain into the beyond, into the higher self, into the unimaginable, into that we can't conceive, beyond ourselves or our smaller selves, because we are that, we are the higher self and the body. We are both. We are that connection. We may not be able to perceive it from the lower end, but we are that same thing. And after a while, those energies start to descend. Again, letting go of the throat, letting go of the neck, letting those energies descend into you. You are no longer alone and will never be alone. You will never be isolated. Especially around the thyroid area, the top of the collarbones, the throat, allowing those energies to descend through this area and down through your whole body, letting them heal, letting go of yourself to allow this communication. You have to let go of yourself to allow the communication, and to whatever level allowing that to happen. Let go of your brain, let go of your thoughts, let go of everything, your life, and everything you consider to be you. Letting the divine consciousness travel through you. Let yourself be a duct, a channel, a communicator, a transit, a connection from the earth to the higher self and the higher self to the earth. You are never alone. You are God. You are part of God. You are part of the universe. You are a divine being. Allow yourself to be a divine being. Definitely let that go through your throat, breathing gently with the holographic breathing. We're going to come back in about a minute. So just letting that be however it wants to be. Breathing with the holographic breathing. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. So for me, holographic breathing, it is physical. I have healed myself. I mean, I can't say I'm 100% better from Lyme disease, but I no longer have it. The devastation it did to my body and brain, I'm still healing, and obviously I'm getting older at the same time, so things are falling to bits at the same time. But with holographic breathing and also homeopathy, I've healed that and got better, whereas I would have probably died before. It is energetic, because I can feel the qualities of all of the different organs, of all of the different energies traveling through. So there's this whole energetic component. It is of the Kundalini, because I permanently feel the organs of the pelvis and the different areas of the pelvis releasing, and that energy traveling up through me, healing through the brain. If anything has healed Lyme disease, it's this continual waves of energy transiting through my brain. And it can stay at that, and it feels safer. Well, it feels pretty scary when it started anyway, but through the brain. But then you can also open here. And then it transits into the higher self, into the gods, into the beyond. And then it becomes a different thing again. So holographic breathing, it's not an exercise system. It's not a breath work exercise system. It's not breathing faster, breathing slower, having bigger spaces, having no spaces. It is not that. It is an integrated body work, energy work, spiritual practice. And it is natural. For me, holographic breathing is more natural than normal breathing. To learn holographic breathing, you have to allow the breath to move the jaw and to move the tongue. And normally we hold against that. There's a tightening of the jaw and the tongue to stop the jaw dropping and to stop it rising, because the diaphragm is dropping, this is all dropping. It naturally is pulling down on this area. So this tightens to oppose that dropping. But in holographic breathing, it's a bit like removing a block, allowing that to happen. You don't have to try. Once that is happening, people don't realize that is an initiation. When people learn holographic breathing, it's not a technique, it's a remembering, and it's an initiation. And you never forget it. You can always just drop back into holographic breathing. People don't even know what they've done to start off with. And then that is there all the time. And when that is working, when the lips are relaxed and closed, when the tongue is on the roof mouth, when there's this gentle motion of that area integrated with the motion of the breath through the body, then this all starts breathing. The brain starts interacting in a way and breathing in a way that it was not doing before. You're not making it do that. You're not visualizing and trying to get it to do that. It naturally starts happening when you take that away, and this just naturally moves with the breath. Within those parameters, the brain starts breathing. The brain cells start breathing. Now, they may have been breathing before, but it becomes more animated, becomes more whole, it becomes more audible. And the energies that kind of stayed around here start communicating up and down. The head, the face, the neck get an earth into the body and to the earth. The torso, the pelvis, the sexual energy, arms and legs get a connection physically through the muscles moving to move all of this, and energetically. And a communication starts happening. And if you want, again, this happens on its own, you just allow this to start opening. And that communication continues up to the beyond. Now, normally, that just happens to me when I'm teaching. And I think we've done it in one other webinar, in one of the advanced webinars, where I talked people into more doing it for themselves. And I'm fairly sure that a lot of people were doing that, because I really have a burning hole in the top of my head, which I don't normally have when I teach. It's almost painful. So I guess a lot of people almost also did that. So holographic breathing is priceless, and it's the only thing of its kind that I know of. There may be other breathwork systems, I haven't seen them, that encompass that holistic spiritual realm. I just don't, you know, there may be something there, but I just don't know of it. And that is also what people tell me. I had a lot of feedback from people who had come from the Breathwork conference, where there were all of the main breathworks. And they, you know, I guess, well, maybe the people who came to me obviously said that we liked your one the best. Maybe people who went to the other people said they were the best. But to me, it is different to the other breathwork systems. Probably biased in that, because obviously it came to me and I've taught it, and it kind of is me. It just started, it never stopped, and there was a channel there were the spiritual energies. My whole life changed. I no longer taught Tai Chi, cranial sacral therapy, all the, just became this. And my job just seems to be allowing this and to letting it out, bringing, you know, and it's nice now that I can teach webinars, because I can now let it go around the world. Webinars are the perfect format for me. So we're going to move on from that rather spiritual meditation to a more physical one. And we're going to start working with the relationship between the tongue and the roof of the mouth, and this physical motion and all of this. And my guess is, as we get deeper into it in the meditation, it will also turn more spiritual. One of the reasons it's called holographic breathing is because each area of the body is a reflection of the whole. And the same with the face, the mouth, the tongue. It's like the lower body, the abdomen. The tongue is like the abdomen, the jaw is like the pelvis, the roof of the mouth is like the diaphragm. The large sinuses here, they're like the lungs, the nasal passageways, like the heart. The eyes connect to the different sides of the brain. The ethmoid between the eyes connects to the whole central brain complex. So the face is a holographic representation of the whole. The brain is a holographic representation of the brain. When I say hologram, I don't mean it's made of light. The glass plate that holds the image in a hologram, that they shine the light through to get the image, say that holds the image of a lady. You break it in half, shine the light through half of it, you'll still get a whole lady. Break it again, shine the light through it, you'll still get a whole picture. However small you break that plate, you still get a full image. It may not be quite as bright, but you still get the full image. And each part of us is a representative of the whole. And in holographic breathing, when it first started, I opened this, or this book fell open. I mean, you can see there's over 1,000 pages in this book. I wanted to know what happened, because I was trying to breathe into the maxilla, this area, the center of the face, because I've been told, the orthodontist told me that I needed to bring that forwards, and he wanted to give me 5 years of orthodontics to do it, and I don't know, 15 grand or something. I was penniless and dying of Lyme disease at the time, so not much chance. nor did I want the orthodontics, but I was breathing into that, and holographic breathing just started, and then that whole area just started breathing without me having to try anymore. And I wanted to know what happened. This book just fell open on this page, and from it I could see, did have a bigger picture, but I couldn't find it. But if I bring that right up close, can you see how the roof of the mouth is a bit like a diaphragm? The large maxillary sinuses either side of the nasal passageways, they're like lungs. Can you see the nasal passageways? It's split into ventricles. The tongue is like the abdomen and organs. The jaw is like the pelvis. The eyes relate to the brain and nervous system. The ethmoid that's right at the top between the eyes, this relates to the brainstem. And I saw that and I realized my face was breathing. Breath comes to the face, and my whole face had started breathing in the same way that the body breathes. And the brain had started breathing, and my skull, everything, I could feel every cell opening and closing with the breath. And that's, in the end, it's a longer story how it got called holographic breathing, but that is how that name came. And the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and the roof of the mouth, the maxilla, you pick it up, a real maxilla, it weighs next to nothing. The bones are so ridiculously fine. Tongue drops, breathing in, the roof of the mouth drops, breathing in, breathing out. And we're going to start working with that motion. Now, we will work with that. We will also drop into the back of our body, and so how the diaphragm connects into the back of the spine, into the pelvis, into the arms and legs. We'll feel this very deep in craniosacral therapy. And we never actually worked with it in cranial. That my memory of my trainings, we did opening and closing, but the way Sutherland, who brought through craniosacral therapy, described the movement of the body is that it shortens top to bottom and everything expands, lengthens top to bottom and everything narrows. And that is my experience in holographic breathing. And as you drop into the back of the body and the abdomen, the lungs will expand in all directions. The abdomen is contracting, the diaphragm is coming down, and the bottom diaphragm is at least holding it, so it's breathing in. There's a contraction top to bottom, and everything expands. Diaphragm rises, and this one relaxes down, and everything narrows. It's like a ball, and everything else in the body, the cells, they've got to lengthen, or they've got to shorten in one direction to allow them to expand. And you can feel that. You can feel the legs, the arms, connecting through the body, connecting to the tongue, connecting to the back of the head. This pulling up to this whole area, and this all opening, the whole body opening, and then drawing away and lengthening. So we'll drop into that for a little bit, but people often find that hard. And that is to do with the bones, that is to do with the muscles, and that is a physical, intrinsic motion of the breath. As soon as we rise above the roof of the mouth into this area, it completely changes, and that experience of shortening and lengthening drops when you just get opening and closing, because this is like the lungs. This is like the chest, and the lungs can just open and close because air is coming into them. And then this is a higher level of energy. Then when we move up into the eyes, it actually does connect to that lengthening and shortening, but it's much more subtle. And this connects into the nervous system. So we will start off this movement of the roof of the mouth with the tongue, and we'll go through that journey. We'll go into the back of the body, we'll go into here, we'll go into the eyes. I hope it may go off in some completely other direction, but that is the plan. And at the end of it, the tongue is what we're working with in the advanced webinars at the minute. And we're going to move into that energy system. The tongue relates to all of the organs, but as a general energy, it relates to the yellow energy circuit, which we're working with. And that's in the face and cranium. That is the tongue, that is the nose, that is the ethmoid between the nose, and that's the palatine bones that are at the back of the nasal passageways. And we will connect to those. Let me just, here we have a skull. Oops, it's already fallen apart. I'm going to have to get a new one of these. It's, I think the magnets have got too weak for it to work. It just falls apart at will now. Or maybe it's just like me, I fall apart at will as well now. I mean, my feathers are definitely very loose. Hang on, what's happened there? Why is that not working? Okay, let's take the jaw off. So here we have just the face, those are the eyes, the jaws was here, the nose is the yellow energies. If you look at the back there, can you see at the back of the nasal passageways each side, these are the palatine bones. This bone between the eyes at the top, that's the ethmoid, that's the yellow energies. So you get this circle. There it is from the inside. I haven't painted this yellow, I lost that one, but the tongue is the yellow energies, the palatine bones at the back, nasal passageway, the nose at the front, and this, so you get this circle in there. We'll work with that. The base energies, that connects to all the organs in the pelvis, and different areas in the pelvis relate to different energy circuits that we work with, and that releases up. There's 6 energy circuits work with the yellow energies. It's the clitoris and the erectile tissue of the penis is the potency there. If you don't know what your clitoris looks like, there's a clitoris. Not everyone knows, I didn't know. And that fits in, this is a bit large, it fits in the pelvis here, the vagina is here, the legs of the clitoris run down these bones here, and then you have the bulbs of the clitoris either side of the vagina. And for the men, the penis also mirrors it. The legs, or where the penis connects, runs along these bones in the same way and becomes this area. So for the men, you're feeling into the urogenital diaphragm, the actual base of the penis here, and then as it comes forwards. And that is the sexual potency. That we're not going to go into all of the points, we're just going to do the tongue, the points in the face, and the clitoris and penis, or the erectile tissue of the penis, as that potency that drives up through that circuit. And then we'll allow that to connect to the yellow energy circuit in the higher self, as in us, as in the higher circuit. That energy rises up into that energy in the higher circuit. And if you want to take that into more depth, we carry on with that in the advanced webinars next Sunday. And we take, because I'm not actually having to teach people holographic breathing, because people have been doing it a long time. These are profound and deep webinars. They're really worth a visit. All right, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Okay, we're going to start. If you haven't learned holographic breathing, it tough because we're just going to do it. If you have, then great. And we are going to now start. And now if you are new and you spent the first part sitting up, you can lie down now. It's just that first bit you needed to be sitting through. And it should just start on its own. So we are going to start. So closing your eyes and gently dropping into the holographic breathing. Tongue is on the roof of the mouth. The lips are closed. On the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening. And on the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing. Relax the back of your neck. Relax the back of your head. And just notice the energies changing. Notice your brain, these waves of energy moving through your brain. Notice your spine. Notice your pelvis. And also feel the sideways breathing motion, your body opening to the sides as you breathe in. Your body closing medially back towards the middle as you breathe out. Also your cranium, your face opening to the sides as you breathe in, closing as you breathe out. And becoming aware of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And if there's only a small amount of tongue on the roof mouth and it feels okay to let a little bit more come on the roof mouth, allow more to come on. There's quite a physical motion of the jaw that relates to the bones. When you become aware of the tongue, notice it feels different. Notice how the tongue more connects to your brain, to your organs, and the viscera, the soft tissue. It's a very different energy to the jaw. Notice your brain starts to breathe. You might start passing out as the brain starts breathing, as the tongue connects to the brain. It's just, some people quite often just pass out cold. But just allowing that and trying to stay awake. Relaxing the back of your neck. Relaxing the back of your head. Relaxing back. There's a couple of people who are quite far forwards. Relaxing back into yourself. Dropping back into yourself and feeling the back of the tongue. Notice how the back of your tongue relates to the back of your body, the back of your head. Let a bit more of the tongue come onto the roof of the mouth. And feeling the sides of the tongue up against the sides of the gums, the sides of the upper jaw. Notice there's this breathing motion that may feel like the tongue and the roof of the mouth are dropping down as you breathe in. tongue and the roof of the mouth are rising as you breathe out. So letting the roof of the mouth become malleable and energy. Breathing in, the tongue is dropping, the roof of the mouth is dropping, and widening. The roof of the mouth drops and widens the same way as the diaphragm drops and the rib cage widens. The roof of the mouth does the same. Breathing out, the tongue rises, the roof of the mouth domes up, the diaphragm rises, the ribs narrow, we breathe out. So not forcing it, just noticing that. Very subtle motion of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Drops and widens on the in-breath. Domes up and narrows on the out-breath. Notice as the roof of the mouth starts to breathe, all the bones of your face start to breathe. All the bones of your cranium start to breathe. It all starts to breathe. And not forcing it. You don't want to be forcing this in any way, just a very subtle, almost imaginary movement. Dropping back, sitting back, dropping back into the back of your head, the back of your tongue, back of your body. The tongue relates to the diaphragm. The back of the diaphragm drops down into the lower back. So the diaphragm is pulling down into the lower back and into the pelvic floor. And the tongue is dropping down. Breathing out, the diaphragm is rising, the heart, the esophagus, the trachea rises, the hyoid rises, the tongue rises, the roof of the mouth rises. Breathing in, it's all pulling down and opening. Breathing out, it's all rising and doming. Notice you start getting waves of energy through your brain, through your head. Feeling right down into your pelvis, into your legs, diaphragm. The legs are pulling up towards the diaphragm on the in-breath. The legs are dropping away from the diaphragm on the out-breath. There's this shortening from the legs through the diaphragm right up to the roof of the mouth, right up to the back of the head. They're all pulling together and everything is opening on the in-breath. Dropping away and everything is narrowing on the out-breath. It's pulling into the roof of the mouth and the back of the head. And the arms as well, the arms and legs, pulling up to the roof of the mouth, to the back of the head, everything opens. The arms and legs dropping away and down, and the roof of the mouth dropping. You get this deep motion through the whole body, and as it pulls up, everything opens, the whole cranium opens, the whole face opens. And as they drop away, it all closes and narrows. Notice how that gives you a really deep breath through the lungs, through the chest. Rising into the chest, rising into the nose, into the nasal passageways. Notice when you get into the nose, into the nasal passageways, that shortening and lengthening ebbs away. There's more just the expansion. Expanding out on the in-breath. Contracting back together on the out-breath. The whole breath changes. It does just become expansion and contraction. As you move up in the face, you move up in the body, you move above the diaphragm. In the face, you move above the roof of the mouth. In the body, you move above the diaphragm. You become more aware of the lungs, the heart. The big opening and closing. Notice how it's completely changed, and that more physical shortening and everything widening, lengthening and everything narrowing has disappeared. You can feel the whole face, the whole cranium, the lungs, the abdomen just opening to the sides as you breathe in, closing laterally as you breathe out. Feel the cranium opening to the sides, the brain opening to the sides, breathing out it narrowing. You can move up into the eyes, notice everything gets brighter, starts connecting to your nervous system, starts connecting to your brain. With the eyes, you might feel this shortening and lengthening because all of the nerves travel down and out through the arms and legs. Just be much more subtle. That shortening and lengthening comes from the nerves. But it's just a much higher energy. And between the eyes in the ethmoid, this relates into the brainstem or the central brain complex and the third eye. Notice this much higher energy from the ethmoid between the eyes opens the third eye. For some reason, it is part of the yellow circuit, but be aware of your solar plexus and your stomach. It seems to be connecting a lot to people's stomachs. The ethmoid will connect your clitoris for the women and the erectile tissue of the penis for the men. Feel that under the front of your pelvis, and it stretches right back to the sit bones. Feeling the ethmoid, feeling the clitoris, feeling the erectile tissue of the penis. And this gives you the potency that rises up through this yellow circuit. The eyes closed, gently doing holographic breathing, allowing that energy to rise. relates to the tongue. Notice how the tongue grounds that energy. Relates to the nose. It's how the energy can rise through the nose up into the ethmoid. It relates to the very back of the sinuses and nasal passageways into the palatine bones. And it also connects to the back of the body. It's the coccyx right at the base of the spine, through the whole spine, through the central membranes of the spine, and around to the ethmoid. So you get this circle around the whole center of the body, powered by the ethmoid, powered by the clitoris and erectile tissue of the penis, the yellow energies circuit. It connects to the third eye. And those yellow energies rise from the third eye through the top of the head and into the divine energies, the yellow energy circuit. Now, for some reason today it seems to be connecting to the stomach, allowing that to heal through your stomach and the legs. The stomach and the legs. There's some grounding happening between the stomach and the legs, the knees. The stomach is part of this circuit. So this might be very fine for some people, but just feeling this to whatever level you can, it's fine. Whatever you feel is fine. You may want to lie down, that is fine. Letting that release through your spine, through your neck. Let that heal your solar plexus. Let that heal your stomach. It spreads through all the soft tissue of the body, connects from the meninges of the brain up into the higher self, that same energy on a higher level. Feeling your tongue coming to life, your nose coming to life, the ethmoid coming to life. The palatine bones at the back of the nasal passage, they will relate to your spine and they will give it an earth. And that is connecting to the legs and that is connecting to the earth. Feeling the back of the nasal passageways, the back of the sinuses, the back of the tongue. Notice this connects through the legs and into the earth. It gives this circuit an earth. And feeling this to whatever level you can. And it will move through the ligaments of the spine and the discs of the spine. Kundalini in the spine will go through the discs and the ligaments. The back of the nasal passageways, the spine, the legs gives you the earth. The legs and arms, hands and feet. Notice as you feel the legs and arms, the hands and feet, it releases through the crown chakra and into the higher self. The back of the nasal passageways, the spine, traveling down through the connective tissue, through the arms and legs, the ligaments, the tendons, through the feet, into the earth. And as that happens, it connects through the top of the head to the higher self. Notice how the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet are like diaphragms. The same way the yellow energies connect the roof of the mouth to the diaphragm. Roof of the mouth, the diaphragm, palms of the hands, palms of the feet relate to the top of the head and the crown chakra. And as these breathe, the crown chakra opens. Palms of the hands and the soles of the feet will connect to the earth. The top of the head will connect to the divine energies. You can do gentle palming with your hands and feet, little palms opening on the in-breath, same as the diaphragm opening, same as the roof of the mouth opening. Palms of the hands, soles of the feet cupping on the roof of the mouth, the same as the diaphragm, same as the roof of the mouth, same as the top of the head. Connect to the earth, connect to the divine energies. And there's kind of a messenger coming in, allowing the energies to arrive. There's kind of a communication, allowing that. You may not know what the communication is. The throat, letting the throat go, the trachea, the esophagus, letting these relax. Notice as the esophagus and the trachea relax, there's a release. The energy releases through the face and the cranium. And breathe. Keep letting the trachea, the esophagus release. This releases up through the face and cranium, and as that happens, the sexual potency will release and rise up through the body at the same time. And pulse through the brain. Yeah, it's the throat that needs to let go. Letting your throat go. And then that pulses through the membranes of the brain, the astrocyte cells of the brain. Keep letting your throat go, letting this channel open. There's this beautiful, soft, divine energy floating down. Yellow energies are very subtle, very delicate, very refined, and there's it very like snow from the higher self coming down to feed the yellow energies. You have to let your throat go. Yellow energies relate to the bronchial tubes through the whole lungs. Notice your bronchial tubes kind of stretching and opening on the in-breath. And these are like the tree of the lungs opening on the in-breath. The tree of the lungs closing on the out-breath. That's important. A lot of tiredness there for people. Bronchial tubes, the tubes that the air flows through, and they get tinier and tinier, like little tiny twigs of a tree. Stretching and opening on the in-breath, relaxing on the out-breath. So the lungs open, the tree spreads out, the lungs close, the tree contracts. Heal your lungs, heal your bronchial tubes. Let them clear. Let any darkness from that area just breathe and release. Right into the back of your lungs. Let your lungs, let the bronchial tubes heal. It really feels like they need some healing. Okay, we're going to come back in about a minute. Letting that soften. And sending a thank you to the earth. Sending a thank you to the higher self and beneficial energies. Sending a thank you to yourself. Allowing the energies to go off for love and healing to the earth, for love and healing to the higher self and the beneficial energies. Allowing yourself to be loved and healed. Allowing the energies to go out to all sentient beings for love and healing. And you are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourselves to come back. So for a lot of new people that may have been quite refined, that last bit, but it's something that becomes easier and easier and becomes deeply beneficial. People learn to love that. It gets much more potent the more adept you become at working with that. And you can, as we work with these different energies, the different organs, the different circuits, you learn to be your own doctor. You learn to have your own connection to the earth and the higher self, and to be able to heal through these different circuits, not just channeling, but specifically healed organs, areas of yourself, how all of these different areas relate to each other, how the different qualities, there's not just one sexual potency, there's different qualities. Each circuit has a different quality of sexual potency that rises through it. Work with these in the advanced webinars. So if you want to come along next Sunday, go onto my website, or the newsletter will come out tomorrow or the day after with your recordings. There'll be a link from that. I'll have to update the website for next Sunday's webinar. But these free webinars are an introduction to the advanced webinars, so people can have an easy kind of introduction to holographic breathing, and move on to doing it in a more advanced level if you so wish. I'm slowly running out of energy here. I feel like the cogs are slowing down and the tractor's just about to come to a standstill. Kind of, there's a certain job to do, and as it's coming to the end, the energy stops moving through and you're kind of grinding to a halt. It's been truly wonderful working with you all. I'm going to put my headphones on. We can have one comment. Thank you so much, everyone. I feel like I've done my job today. I've got nothing left in me inside. It's this deeply relaxed, nothing left feeling. It's all gone out of me, and there's like this relaxation is left as it's all over. For me, I keep saying profound tonight, but working with you guys just feels profound. I go to places I can never go by myself teaching this, and I could not do that if you weren't here. So deeply, deeply thank you. Really consider coming to the advanced webinars. There's a family there. People are working together every Sunday, and that produces a cup to hold it in and an energy. And people know each other, so it brings a family. Maybe we were together in past lives, or many past lives, and many different traditions and sacred sects, and the family is evolving. So please, if you wish, come and join that.